Welcome back, you beautiful souls. Thank you so much for keeping it locked on this gorgeous Friday morning. It's going to get a little intense now. Internationally acclaimed psychological thriller titled Mlungu, translated into Good Madam, as I understand it, premiered at the Castle of Good Hope last night after featuring on multiple international platforms, talking about the likes of the Toronto International Film Festival. Now, this much anticipated South African horror satire will be making rounds this October in South Africa, and it's a must-see. In fact, let's terrify you right now. Take a look.
Malwin, but family picture nditle. It's not that umama kayithandi lena. Cha lendlu sikibe ngathi ayimthandi umama. Sisiwenza ntoni ebumnyameni? Bebe sizovula ucango to. Awulokho boka lakhe elmosi.
Ayikho elinye ikhaya ngaphandle kweli khaya.
Alrighty, if that's what we're allowed to see in the promo, just wait. Now, chatting about the ins and outs of Mlungu this morning is co-producer and co-writer Babalwa Bartman and co-producer and director Jenna Bass. Guys, what are you doing to us? Good morning, ladies. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations, first of all. Well done for getting it across the line. And it's crazy. I think whenever I chat to South African filmmakers, it's first like, well done, you've done it. You actually got there, because I know what it takes to bring something like this together and do it this well. So congratulations. I'm terrified to ask Jenna, what is the premise of the film? Please break it down, because I think there are layers to this as well, which we're going to delve into, but set the scene for us.
Sure. So Mlungu is about a woman called CD who has a really bad relationship with her mom, who's a domestic worker and who's been working for the same white woman in Constantia for 30 years. And so she's never had a good relationship with her because her mom's always been that side, taking care of that family. But when she loses her house, she's forced to go live with her mom in the back room, and she has to take her young daughter with her. Oh. And she's trying to kind of like sort out her life and heal the relationship with her mom. And she starts to just get very curious about this weird woman who her mom works for and the kind of very toxic relationship they have. And as she investigates, things start to get very dark.
Woo-wee. There is a look and feel, and I mean, I hate comparing creators to other creators, but a lot of people are speaking about the Jordan Peele-esque vibe. There is something about telling a horror story that addresses social ills in the style that just hits, and it hits hard. I'm just going to have goosebumps probably for the rest of today, I think. But Babalwa, what is it about this way of capturing a story that allows you to tell multiple stories at the same time? Because I have a feeling people are going to be learning some hard truths along this crazy journey.
Yes, I think maybe hard truths is probably like you nailing it. And I think that's the horrific aspect of this film, is that it's the truth about our society that has kind of like taken on the role of the monster.
Yeah.
So your typical film,
and it's almost worse.
Slasher, yes, so which essentially is worse if you think about it. And I think that's why this genre was so great, in that it allows us to heighten, you know, all the ills that are in our society, but then to also use them as, I mean, it is our reality, but at the same time, it is quite horrific that we've normalized, you know, there are certain aspects of our lives that we've normalized that we shouldn't, which are essentially, you know, quite scary and are the monster.
Yeah, we've become desensitized, and I've been saying this for the longest time. Stop making American stories, make South African stories, because we've got some scary stories to make. First of all, thank you for setting the scene like less than a kilometer away from where I live. That's going to be great for the rest of my life. I'm thinking it's one thing to have a great story, to have a great cast, great writers, everything, but you still got to pull it together. And during a time where it probably was the most difficult time to do anything collaborative, how did you guys do this? How did you manage that production of this film?
Yeah, I mean, so it was shot during the pandemic in 2020, but still when things were, under relatively hard lockdown. So it was a really crazy time to make a film, but I think we were making the right film to make it possible, because so many of the bigger productions had to close down and there was just nothing happening in the film industry. But because, you know, this was a film we planned to shoot before we knew that COVID was going to happen, but it just turned out that it was already so contained. We were all going to kind of be focused on this one location, which is that house. And then we all, basically the house you see in the film is where everyone stayed, and everyone lived together. We shot there, so it was very intimate, very intense. But I think everyone was just so glad to be working, also because
you can pry this production out of my dead cold fingers. There's no way we're going to stop shooting and stop making a film. I get that, because it does take so much to get to that point, to get the finances together, apart from anything else. A difficult line to walk, because now we're telling a South African story to South Africans, but also to a global audience. We're going to need translations, we're going to need subtitles. So much must get lost in that. That side of this must have been a journey on itself. How did you manage that element of the film?
Yeah, I mean, there's an actual saying in Xhosa which is like, "Isixhosa asitolikwa," which literally means there is no translating Xhosa. So every time you get into a situation where you tell a story like this and you have to translate it, it does become a bit tricky. I mean, the expression of Xhosa in comparison to the expression of English, it's worlds apart.
Literally worlds apart, yeah.
But I guess it's the intent. I think what's important to us is telling stories in our language, you know? So the responsibility then to make sure that it can translate into other spaces is something that we take on. And I think we get better with it every time we do it. We were having a chat the other day, and I was saying that this is better than the last film. And I think even going forward, it's going to become one of the key important areas is how really we tackle translation to make sure that, you know, everything hits. So it's something that we are intentional about getting better at all the time. So it's still a bit of work, but yeah, we are intentional about making sure that the story translates, and that's the best we can do, even if it's Xhosa is a challenge.
But the joy is here. It's not just the words that you've got now. You've got the lighting, you've got the performance, you've got all these other tools in your bag to be able to create that meaning and let people truly understand what's behind the language and the culture. You guys have done something amazing. Yes, the goosebumps are going to come back again. Now I can see it's truly phenomenal. And I joke about us being present at the time of becoming, but I have a feeling that this could be that moment for you. And if you say you're only getting better now, I stagger to think about where you are going as a unit. Congratulations, guys.
Thank
This
you.
is going to terrify a lot of people, which means it's doing its job. It's Mlungu, a pop-up cinema and night market on web tickets. You can get it on the 20th to the 5th of November. So 20th of this month up until the 5th of November. Webtickets.co.za. Go and terrify yourself.